Hi guys, welcome back. So today's a little different. We're going to do another chair yoga practice. Again, make sure you have a chair with no arms that you can practice with. Maybe a strap. If you don't have one, it's okay. I'll show you other ways to do the practice without the strap. And if you have a block, grab it. Again, if you can fold up a towel, that's fine too. So there are definitely mornings where you just wake up and you don't feel like doing your practice, and those are actually the days where you need it the most. The days where you're feeling kind of irritable or cranky or frustrated, and this morning was kind of like that kind of day for me. So especially in this time, I'm sure some of you guys are feeling a little cooped up. This is a great practice to just kind of keep going no matter what comes your way, right? No matter what's happening in your life. So one concept before we begin I want to talk about was the 8 winds. So in yogic practice, as well as a lot of Buddhist practice, the 8 winds are exactly that, whatever's coming your way. So the concept is that you should still feel really steady and anchored in your practice, even if the 8 winds are blowing around. So what are the 8 winds? It's poverty, wealth, sickness, health, censure, praise, freedom, imprisonment. So essentially, sometimes you'd be surprised. You'd think, oh, if you're poor, you can't do certain things. But it can be the opposite. It can be that when you're wealthy, you then neglect your practice. So it doesn't matter what's happening, you should always do your practice. So I like that concept for today, especially with all of us feeling probably a little cranky and sick of all this. Anyway, so let's begin. So when we're ready, we want to kind of come forward, sitting forward on our chair with our feet right under our knees, and let our palms face up, and our spine is really tall and the crown of the head is right over the tailbone. So with the chest lifted and the shoulders relaxed, let's begin here with just some gentle breathing. So close your eyes, and as you inhale through the nose, fill your belly, fill your chest, fill your throat. And as you exhale, feel your throat empty, chest fall, belly draw in. Do that 3 more times. Inhale, fill from the bottom up. Nice deep breath, good. And then exhale, relax the body as you slowly let the breath out from the top down. Keep going. So keep going with that breathing. So the other thing I have here are my beautiful daffodils, my yellow sunny daffodils. They're like a true inspiration. We've had some crazy weather where we've had like a foot of snow on top of these little beauties, and yet you still see the yellow daffodils really resilient, really strong, even though they're so soft and graceful and beautiful. So to me, that's just kind of like embodying that warrior, that peaceful warrior of never giving up hope no matter what comes your way, right? Good, let's take that last breath. It's easy to master your practice when everything's going well, but if you can do it when everything's going bad, that's how you know you really have cultivated some inner peace. All right, and then bring the hands onto the knees, and we're just going to do a few cat-cow stretches. So inhale, arch, lift the chin, press the chest forward, and then exhale, round chin to chest. And keep going, inhale, arch, and exhale, round. Good. And the other concept that goes hand in hand with what we're talking about is the ability to turn poison into medicine, right? So no matter what bad things are happening, if we can kind of transform them into medicine, and the way we do that is by staying strong, anchored to our practice, no matter how those winds blow. Then no matter what, we're undefeated, and anything bad that assails us just gives us more wind in our sails, right? Okay, last one of these. And then come back, and holding on to the edge of the seat, we're going to come around and do some spiral movement. So it's the same point A to point B, arching forward, chin up, chest out, exhaling all around and back. This is so good for spine health. You're really feeling, you can feel it in your spine as you do this with me. Through each vertebrae, through each disc, you're getting that nice churning and stretch all around the sides, through the front, and across the bottom. Good, let's just do one more in this direction. And I wanted again, as always, to thank my videographer Eli for helping with these, and Bronco the dog for being our true little troubadour here, always with us. All right, so I've switched directions now. Make that feel good in your body for another 1 or 2. I think Judy said that Bronco is like the mascot of these videos. He's so beautiful. Okay, good. And then back to center. Let's do a few more neck stretches. So we got the spine nice and loosened up. Let's focus on the cervical because I know a lot of us have a lot of tension there. So with the spine really tall, we're still staying forward. You're just going to drop your left ear down to your left shoulder and feel the stretch on the right side here. Take a deep breath in as if you're flooding oxygen right there. And as you exhale, bring the chin to chest and the right ear all the way to the right shoulder. Make that feel good. Big inhale. And then exhale, chin to chest, left ear to the left shoulder. Big inhale. And then exhale, right? So sometimes we need to employ that kind of alchemy to change poison into medicine. Sometimes you hear about all these incredible people in the world, like Nelson Mandela or Malala, that have endured some pretty hard things in their life, and yet they can still kind of like use what assails them to then be even more determined to create change, not just for themselves, but for a whole lot of other people. Rosa Parks, the amazing poet Maya Angelou, if you read about what's happened to her life, or Harriet Tubman, and then they go on to really inspire so many others who are in a similar situation that might feel hopeless, right? Because hopelessness is really the only true obstacle. If you can kind of keep your hope up like these little yellow daffodils, so sure that spring is coming, then you really don't have any enemies. Go ahead and bring your head back to center. Once that neck feels really good, nice and open, let's move on to the wrists. So we're just going to interlace our fingers. And then as we twirl our knuckles in this nice figure 8, trying not to like do so much of this, but really kind of more all in the wrists, right? Breathe into it for 3. Good. 2. And 1. Switch directions. And the shoulders are relaxed as you do this movement, and the wrists are really loosening up. Good. 1 more deep breath in. And then exhale, flush it out. Let's focus on the knees next. Some of us have tight knees out there. The direction again is important. When you come down with your hands around your knees, we're just going to be making circles, right, with our palms. But the direction is important. So come down on the outsides of the knees, in through the center, and up through the middle. Use the whole of your palms. Breathe as you do this. Very energetic through the biceps. And of course, all these exercises, as usual, it's about using common sense. If it's something that your doctor would be opposed of or doesn't feel good in your body, skip it. Don't do it. You'll still get a ton of benefit by doing your practice, the rest of your practice. Okay, and then flush it out through the center. Let's do that a couple times. Very good to bring so much nice blood and circulation to the knees in this way, especially if the knees are not so good for you, right? 1 more. Good. And then shake out the arms if that feels a little tight there from that exercise. In fact, let's do this. Palms face up, shoulders up to the ears. Inhale. Exhale, back and down. 2 more. That should feel nice. Really shrug them up to the ears. Exhale, back and down. And then 1 more. Excellent. And then let's do a little side stretch to open up the side body. Hold on with your right hand on the side of your seat. And then feel your left hip bone kind of just press down a bit as you extend that left arm up and over. A little bend in the right elbow to allow a little movement. Push the chair away with that right hand. Reach the left hand further to the ceiling. Feel your arm extend up and over. Feel the stretch from the hip. So nice, maybe even pulsing there. And then release, holding on to the edge of the seat with the other hand, and sweep the right arm up. Same thing, right hip presses down slightly, sit bone presses down, I should say, and then up and over. Press as you reach through all 5 fingers, feel the side body really receive that nice benefit. Good, and then exhale, release. Very nice. Let's do the feet next. So hands on the hips, spine really tall. Come down with a flat back, hovering your chest over one thigh. Remember, you're not rounding, right? Flat back, so chest is lifted. And then you're going to peel the inner edge of your left foot off the ground, and you're going to press into the outer edge of that left foot. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. And then push on the inner edge hard down as the outer edge peels up. Really press, feel the ankles get benefit, getting strong. You even feel it in the knees and the hips. How much pressure you apply depends on what's appropriate for you. So if you're not feeling much, certainly apply more pressure. But if it feels like too much, you can kind of back off a little. This is so good for joint health, so good for bone density. Keep going for another couple breaths. Good. And then one more time, a few more rounds on this other leg. So now the inner edge again is pressing down hard, and then the outer edge is pressing down hard, and you're pulsing. Inhale. Just giving that ankle some support and strength. This is especially good in the winter when there's a lot of ice around, because even though the ankles are so flexible, as well as the neck and wrists are 2 other places that we have a lot of flexibility but not a lot of strength, right? So we're just increasing a little bit of the muscle mass, some stability and strength. Good. Take another breath. And again, it's so good for joints, bones. Okay. And then release. Sit back on your chair. And then go ahead, and now it's like a chance to feel like a little kid. Just lift your feet up off the ground. You're sitting all the way back against your chair. Hands are maybe on your lap, and the heels are clicking like Dorothy, and we're just opening the feet apart and then clicking them shut. And then opening them apart and then seaming them up. Do that a few times like a mermaid fin, right? Ideally, the knees are pretty straight as you do this. Take another breath or 2. Good, and then the next time you open wide, swish them shut and let all 10 toes kiss, like a little prayer pose. It's okay if you don't quite make it. Of course, this practice is all about building towards it, right? Breathe. Some of ours would look like this, even though we're trying to create that, right? As long as you feel that juicy stretch, that's what matters. This practice should feel good, so nothing crazy. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Let's come back forward, and I feel the need to do a little breathing with you guys. So we're going to try a 1 to 2 ratio breath where we're going to inhale for a 4 count, hold the breath, and try to exhale with control for an 8 count. If you're more comfortable with 3-6, as I know some of my students are, or you need a more of a challenge for 5-10, go ahead and adjust the ratio, but I'm going to count out for 8. With your palms facing up, close your eyes, take a couple breaths, very still and steady here. Use the belly. And then on this last one, just to prepare us, we're going to do a little sigh. Inhale. Let out any tension and stress. Any frustration, just flush it out. Good. This time, inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. That whole time you were inhaling, now hold the breath. With control, exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale, fill up from the belly up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale, fill for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And this time, picture yourself really releasing and flushing out stress with your exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. A little longer hold. Find your inner peace. Good. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Open the eyes, big inhale. And exhale. Maybe a little sigh on this last one. Inhale. Good. This next one we haven't done in the videos yet. We're still forward. We haven't moved back, right? Hands are on the hips. We come down with a flat back. This is for core and pelvic floor strength. As we come up with a flat back, this might be enough. But if you wish to add more, come down with a flat back. And option 2 is you lift a knee. Don't round the spine as you lift up. You're still tall. Maybe a little kick. Come down, inhale, come up, maybe lifting the opposite knee, and a little kick. Chiropractors will do this sometimes with their clients to slowly regain strength in the core. And you're seated on a chair, so it's nice and safe. It's nothing crazy. And sometimes you could even try it on a yoga ball to add another dimension of challenge. Right? If you have one of those big giant yoga balls. All right, let's do just a couple more. Really feel your quads working, your core working. This is also an excellent, very gentle way to regain low back strength, as some of us need, right? From various injuries or just from being out of use, right? Okay, and then release it there. Very good. The next thing we'll do is something for the shoulders, and this will really help when we have a lot of rounding or we pitch our head forward. We want to be careful with that. So we are forward. I'm going to turn my chair so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, you are forward with a flat back and your belly pit pulling in. That's important because you don't want to overarch your low back. You want to have your belly pit pulling in and your back stays pretty flat for this. You're reaching back to the bottom part of your chair. So in other words, the back, but bottom part. And then you're just kind of leaning forward. Then if you can keep the belly pit pulling in, maybe the chest and the sternum lift and the gaze lifts. Shoulders squeeze in towards each other like they're squeezing a lemon that's wedged between the blades there. And you're just kind of making lemonade, right? Talk about making poison into medicine. And so we're lifting through the chin and we're breathing for 5. Fill the belly, fill the chest. 4, and you're leaning forward like you're skiing, right? Face to the winds, the 8 winds. Staying strong and steady, even though you're gliding down the mountain. Sometimes you feel like you're falling down the mountain, right? Good. These beautiful daffodils, such a nice reminder of the lemonade we can make even in the harshest of winters. One more big inhale. And then exhale. If it feels good, a couple more. When you are ready to release, hands are on the knees. You have a lot of room behind you, so just do a couple more of those cat-cow stretches. Make it feel good in your body. Excellent. And release. Good. All right, so the last thing we'll do here on the chair is we're just going to sit back. And hopefully you don't have as tall of a chair as I do. This is just what I have to work with. But we're going to just do a twist. So if you're taller, look at how my feet are not even touching the ground. You're just going to stamp your heels down. But if you're short like me, you're just going to want to tuck your toes back. Press the balls of the feet down into the ground so your quads are activated and you feel really stable here and supported. And then grab the edge of the chair with your right hand. You're going to sweep the left arm up and then grab that opposite thigh. Okay, so right? Once you're here with your left hand on your right thigh, the other hand grabs the top of the chair. Mine's a bit tall, so I'm just going to kind of get in here. And then once you're holding onto the edge of that chair, push that thigh away. Inhale, feel your crown as if it's being pulled to the ceiling. Shoulders stay away from the ears. I always catch my students doing this one. So remember to really relax those shoulders down, and then inhale, lifting through the crown. Exhale, look all the way as far as you can without hurting yourself. You never want to strain to achieve a stretch. Never sacrifice stability for range. Not important. Inhale, feel the crown lift. Exhale, push the thigh away and get a juicy rinse as long as you're still supported. So in other words, it should feel good, no strain. For 3. I love spinal twist, so nice. 2. Good, last one. I'm already starting to come into a bit of a better mood myself. Like I said, I woke up a little cranky this morning. Just tired of all this stuff, right? So then inhale, this side, right arm sweeps up, and then grab that opposite thigh, and with your other hand grab the edge of the chair. I'm going to insert mine rather than grabbing the top. Inhale, feel your crown lift. Exhale, look behind you, push this thigh away. Keep digging your feet down for more stability. Breathe for 3. Maybe a sigh to flush any of your crankiness away, right? Inhale. This is also very good for digestion, for spine health. One more. So nice. And then release. And then we're going to come to standing. So whenever you're ready, just come right up to standing. You want your chair to be to one side, and you might not even need it. Those of you who have better balance may not even use it. You don't want it to be so close to that it's going to constrict you. Maybe it's a good 12 to 18 inches from you, okay? First thing we'll do is just stand about hip width distance apart. I'm going to move this a little more over so I'm more centered. Good. And then bring the hands onto your hips. If you want to have a hand on the chair for stability, so be it. But then the gaze is set higher than eye level at a steady spot before you. The tailbone is slightly down with the belly pit pulling in. Notice how you're distributing your weight in your feet. Do you tend to put it more on the outer edges? If so, push evenly. So in other words, push the inner edges just as even as the outer edges. And then just stand really tall here with your crown lifting for one deep breath before we begin. Good, and now we're going to just kind of swish our weight into the balls of the feet and toes and into the heels. I'll turn so you can kind of see. It's a subtle movement. It's like a little subtle this way and a little subtle back. Subtle into the toes and balls of the feet and into the heels. And I'm even exaggerating so you can see what we're doing, but it doesn't have to be that much. You just want to find your balance, your agility here, right? Do this once or twice more. And then now maybe you want to hold on to the edge of the chair as we lift off the heels. Find your balance here for a breath, if you can, and then exhale into the heels, lift the toes. Find your balance here for a breath. Very good. Just do a couple more. This is so good for agility, strength, flexibility. Right? And reflexes, so that if you are about to fall over or fall down, you actually have a little more of some nice reflexes to work with, some balance to catch you. I think the number one cause of death is still falls. It's like leads to other stuff. Good, very good. Okay, and then once you've done all that, let's try a balance pose. So with the chair nearby, step into one foot, come right into tree, heel roots down, belly pit pulls in, foot is either below or above the knee. You could even, if this is obviously too high, come down with the toes just touching the ground and the knee open wide. Belly button stays at your 12 o'clock. Gaze is set here. If this is too easy, try a little higher up. Maybe both hands come to the hips, prayer pose, or even reach up towards the sky. There's a lot of options for you to play with. Choose one and breathe for 3. Feeling some inner stillness. Very good. 2. Last one. Maybe a nice stretch up, full expression of the stretch with just one hand or both. And then release, step forward, and that foot you were just balancing on, roll onto the knuckles of the foot and swish the heel around. Make that feel good. If that doesn't feel so good, you could also just swish the toes like you're conducting a symphony. And then come back again so that the chair's relatively near you as you step into your other foot. Maybe your right foot now. And the left foot, either the heel is just propped up, comes below the knee or above the knee. Choose wisely here for this side. Knee opens to your right side or to your left side, but belly button stays forward, right? Gaze is set higher than the eyes. Maybe the hands come up a little higher here on this side to challenge. Totally optional, do it safe. Find where it's challenging but not frustrating. Breathe here for 3. This is a good one to think about, those 8 winds blowing around, right? Wanting to knock us off our tightrope, so to speak, or our practice, out of our practice. My partner Eli has a beautiful song, and I've linked his SoundCloud, or his Bandcamp link rather, and it's called Tightrope Walker. See if you can find that, but it's all about staying in your practice no matter what. Good. Take another deep breath in. Maybe the arms reach up for a nice full expression. Inhale. And then when you exhale, again, step forward, and that foot that was just supporting you, give that a little love. So you're on the knuckles and the heel swishes around. Maybe the toes conduct a little symphony. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so we've done quite a few practices on the YouTube page and also here on channel 12 for Amherst Media. So as you know, there's a lot of different ways you can do the sun salutation sequence that we're about to do, and you don't necessarily have to use the chair. We're going to come around to this side. Okay, so when you set up your chair, make sure it's completely on your mat so it's not going to slide around. I'll show you a sun salutation without the chair, but for most of us doing chair yoga, we're going to need it. You can also, if this is too much of a stretch with the seat of the chair, use the back edge of the chair, the tall edge of the chair. So in other words, it would look like this. Let me just show you that real quick. So everything we're doing, you do with the tall edge of the chair, right? Okay, so when you're ready, stand a good 12 to 18 inches from the chair, and you're a good hip width distance apart. Belly pit is pulling in. Feet are pressing down evenly, so you're evenly distributing the weight there, and as you root through the heels, then the arms or the wings go up. Inhale. Spread the fingers wide. Exhale. Root the shoulders down into their sockets. Head comes to neutral. One more. Inhale. Expansive upwards. Exhale. Hands in front of the heart. We'll start a sun salutation. Inhale. Reach up. And as you exhale, sun salutation, like you're saluting the sun. We're bowing down to the day. Palms find the seat of the chair, shoulders over the wrists, elbows nice and straight. Gaze is forward, step it back, high push-up. You're in one complete line, so drop the hips a tiny bit so that from crown to heels, you're one line. Strong here if you can for 2 breaths. So good for bone density and for strengthening the arms. You also feel in the core and in your quads here. Good. One more. Inhale. Step it in. Heels are flat. Bend the knees. Walk the fingers forward. Head drops between the arms for a beautiful extension in your downward facing dog. Modified here. Take another breath. Inhale. Exhale, let go into this nice extension here. Last one. And then look forward and go ahead and step so you're again only 12 or 18 inches from the chair. Come to a little flat back. So with the hands right under the shoulders, feel your chest tug forward And this time on the exhale, bending the knees, drop the head, and then roll up, kind of a little half ragdoll up to standing, one vertebrae at a time, letting the head come up last. The hands come away from the chair and inhale, sweep. On your exhale, hands come back in front of the heart where we started. Let's do one more, just like that with chair. Nice fluid practice. On your inhale, reach. On your exhale, a big swan dive, coming down with a flat back, palms find the chair. Elbows straighten, shoulders shift over the wrist, step it back, high push up. From heels to crown, one straight line, strong here for another breath or two. Strong in the core. Good, last one. And excellent, step it forward, the heels are flat, fingertips crawl as the knees bend. And with a flat back, extended back, the head drops between the arms for 3. So nice, 2. Let's take a little side. We'll again release some of the stress, some of the fear. Inhale. So nice, good. And step it forward. So again, the feet are only 12 inches. Little flat back, hands right under the shoulders. They come right back into place as you tug the chest forward. Then with the knees bent, the head hangs down as you roll up one vertebrae at a time. Reach through all 10 fingers. Feel that nice extension. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. Beautiful. Those of you without the chair, so those of you who are using the chair, you can kind of skip ahead, but just wanted to show you what that might look like. So maybe the feet are either together or hip width distance apart. Belly pit is pulling in. Inhale, reaching on up as you exhale and swan dive. Down, find yourself in a forward fold stretch. So the knees are not bent here ideally. They have to be a little soft, it's okay. Head is hanging. Then on the inhale, bend the knees a lot for a little flat back extension. If you have a lot of flexibility, you don't need to bend the knees, but I like to. Palms plant. Right under the shoulders. High push-up is achieved here, with or without the knees. Strong for a breath or 2. Good, and then you have a couple options. A gentler practice may be to come to knees. Do an inhale, tucking of the tailbone and of the chin up, and then an exhale, rounding. Inhale, arching up, and this time the toes scoop into the mat, and exhale, downward facing dog without the chair, right? Pretty deep. Take another breath or 2. This is only if this is appropriate for you. Head is heavy. Knees are either straight or a little bent if it means a nicer extension in the back. Inhale, on the next exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step to the hands. Find your flat back, and then exhale, spill over your forward fold. You can either reverse swan dive up or roll up to standing, just like we would with a chair, reaching, exhale, hands in front of the heart. Another option, inhale, reach up, exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back, plant the palms high, push up. From here, or plank, right? Chaturanga Dandasana, that's like a low push-up, and then up dog. So this is without the cat-cow. Shoulders are away from the ears. Cobra here is fine too for a bit of a gentler approach. Take a nice breath in this back bend, and then exhale, down dog. So you guys have a lot of options here. It's about finding what level is right for you and working with that. Again, you'd step forward, lift to a flat back, exhale, fold, and then maybe reverse swan dive. Up, hands in front of the heart. Good. All right, let's do one more thing with the chair. those of you with the chair. So if you skip that part because you're working with the chair, this is where you come back in. Okay, feet are hip width distance. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive to your chair, palms plant. Shift your shoulders over the wrists, elbows nice and straight, high, push up here. Hold it here for a nice breath. Remember that nice diagonal line from crown to heels. Good. Inhale. Exhale, step it in. Heels are rooting. Bend the knees as you walk the fingers forward. Find your down dog here. Excellent. Step the right foot forward. Pick up the left heel and drop it to the right. So in other words, your left back foot is kind of catty-cornered and your front foot is facing forward and your hips are squared so your belly button is facing towards your chair. Fingertips can stay on the chair for stability or hands on the hips here. Maybe all 10 fingers come up for warrior one. Take just 2 breaths here. Inhale, the feet are stretching them out apart. The fingers are spreading. Exhale, you're just settling into the pose. One more big inhale, very active and bright. Exhale, settling in. Come back to down dog. So we're just adding a little warrior here. Feel that nice stretch, and now step the left foot forward for your lunge. The front knee, that left knee is bent. The right heel drops down behind you, catty-cornered with that foot. The back leg stays straight. Belly button is centered facing your chair for warrior one. Come up, shoulders stacked right on top of the hips. Fingertips can stay on the chair or hands on the hips. And another option is reaching brightly and up in your warrior one pose. Your knees touching the edge of the chair, so it's kind of helping you stabilize, but it is a bit of a balancer. So be safe here. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, feel yourself sustainable. Good. Inhale. And back to downward facing dog. Very good. From here, let's try this. Rather than coming forward, bend the knees a lot, hands drip down, head is hanging, maybe rocking side to side, holding on to elbows. Opening up the low back here in a bit of a ragdoll. When you're ready, coming on up, either reverse swan dive up, or you can kind of ragdoll the whole way up, reaching for one last nice stretch, and hands in front of the heart. Feet together, let's try this. Before we come down, because we're about to come down. With the feet together, let's reach up, interlace the pinky and the ring finger. The other finger shoots straight up, shoulders down. We're gonna inhale left, exhale right. So when you're ready, this is excellent for spine health, to bring a lot of blood and good circulation. They do this a lot in different kinds of yoga, but Bikram yoga is one of the first poses they do. Good, last one. And release. We're gonna come down, laying on our backs next. All right, so take as much time as you need to come down, laying on the floor. And when you're ready, this is the part when you're gonna want your block and your strap. The next one that I'm about to do is a class favorite. So if you have a block, grab it now. This is a really good one. Otherwise, like I said, you can fold up a towel the long ways in half and then just roll it up, and that'll be fine. You can stick that under your low back. You want your feet about hip width distance apart, and you want to walk your feet back in towards you, and then pushing your heels into the sticky mat forward so your quads activate. Peel your hips up slowly off the ground, one vertebra at a time, and then take your block the flattest most way, and you're going to put it the flattest most way under your low back, between your waist and your tailbone. So it's pretty low. And then you're going to relax that sacrum, that low back right down into that flat surface, right? Palms face up, heels a little wider than the toes, so you're a little pigeon-toed here. And the purpose of that is so that your knees are just kind of floating like two little buoys, very buoyant. I can't tell you how relaxing this is. Breathe here. Hopefully you'll feel it. For 4, inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale, empty the throat, empty the chest, empty the belly. Totally relaxing here for 5 more. On those exhales, feel your limbs as if they're sinking into warm sand. Good. 4 more. Everything is soft. You're releasing all the micro tension in the body. Good. 3. And the acupressure of that block in the low back is really kind of just unlocking lots of chi. It's like a river of chi. Chi is like that unquantifiable substance in the body that, I guess in a Western translation, could be translated to vitality. And if you study Chinese medicine, chi is what sometimes gets kind of stagnated or blocked when we get sluggish, but when we get moving in our body, we feel that vital force in us, right? That vitality. It's also like maybe like the endorphins. You start to feel really good, feel good endorphins, that vibrant energy inside of you, right? Good. Or in yogic terms, the Shakti. Take another deep breath in. And a sigh. This is a really good one when you're feeling grouchy. All right, we're going to get our legs to just kind of floating up if this is available. Not everyone can do this one, but again, it's another class favorite with my seniors. The legs are just floating up buoyant. So we're not flexing the feet or pointing them or straightening the legs. We're just kind of loose here. Take another breath or 2, feeling good. If this is available, this is kind of just like a little optional extra. It gets you a chance to get all of any fluid retention that's in your feet and ankles out of there. It helps give your feet a nice little release. People do this a lot in reflexology. It's really good to get the toxins out of your feet. Okay, and then the feet drop down. It also mirrors shoulder stand, which is a lot of benefit for the thyroid as everything, all the chi is flowing there. Feet dig down. Again, the heels dig forward, the quads activate as you peel the hips away from that block. And as the low back comes down, the feet widen. And now windshield wiper your knees side to side. So good. Maybe the head rocks in the opposite direction the knees are going. Make that feel good. All right, I'll just cut to this. Good. Make that feel good as you're just massaging across the fascia here. Breathing with it. We're also really subtly opening the hips. We haven't done a lot of hip flexor stretches in this specific chair yoga practice. There's a lot in the other videos. So let's do one stretch there now. Now that our hips are loosened, left foot stays down flat. Right ankle comes to the thigh, and maybe you loosen everything up and just stay here. Maybe this is plenty. Those of you needing more, the whole shape comes into chest, and you can either do it freestyle or interlace your fingers behind this left thigh. Sometimes your chin pokes up when you go for the reach, so tuck that chin back to chest so the back of the neck is nice and flat. Breathe into this right hip flexor. You'll feel it in the glutes if they're tight too. For another breath or 2. Excellent. And then release. The right foot is kind of like your anchor now, and your left ankle comes on top of the right thigh. This is plenty here, just loosening things up for the left hip, massaging the low back out. Or taking this whole shape into chest and interlacing. Chin tucks down to chest, back of the neck is flatter. Breathe into it. Never stop that nice fluid ujjayi breath. Sounds like the ocean, right? And what does yoga mean? Yoking. What are we yoking with? The macrocosm, our microcosm of ourselves, merges with spirit, or rather, some people think of it as the merging or the yoking of body-mind, right? But when we gain an inner peace, it is like we're kind of one with our environment, right? So it makes sense that when we do yoga practice, our sound of our breath sounds like a vast ocean. It's like a drop of water regaining and rejoining with the rest of the ocean. Such a nice practice. Good. Release that, feet wide, knees tented. Let's just do one more thing for the neck here. Hands under the head like a pillow. Elbows relax, heavy down. Shoulders are relaxed. Tuck your chin to chest, and now very firmly push your head hard down into your hands. Keep pressing firmly there. Breathe with it for 3. Like a river of chi is just flowing through that cervical neck, that column there. Think of it as like an open column or canal for that river of chi to just flow through each vertebrae, each disc. Good. One more. Big inhale. So nice. And then the arms widen. And rather than just rocking the head side to side to loosen that up, let's slide the head left as our right ear drops down. Then slide the head right as our left ear drops down. So you get a very nice rotation, and the crown of the head always stays in line with the rest of the spine. Good. Last one in each direction, so the neck feels wonderful. And we'll do one last stretch before our Shavasana today. We're just going to do our hamstring stretch. We did a lot with our down dog, so I am going to take this into a bit of a deeper stretch for those of you who can. Doesn't mean everyone should, right? Join the 2 ends together, and the right hand walks a little higher than the left. With the heel pressing to the ceiling, feel the extension behind the knee. Chin to chest, breathe for 3. A river of chi just flowing through that hamstring. 2. Let's do another sigh here to flush out the crankiness. Inhale. It's been feeling good today. And then with the whole right hand holding on to that strap for the right leg, windshield wiper. This is as far as you need to go with it. If you do want that deeper stretch and you're open for it and your hips are open enough for it, let a little slack out. Make a 90-degree elbow with the right elbow and find the ground with that right 90-degree angle elbow. And then drop the leg's weight heavy down so that you're kind of like holding onto the strap and your leg is suspended off that strap. Then once you have that nice release downwards, extend the heel a little more towards the right wall. This might be too deep. Please listen to your bodies here. Good. After a breath or 2 of this nice juicy stretch, then switch hands. Take that left knee and let that left knee just fall open to the side as your right hip comes up and over. And now the left elbow makes a kickstand here. The leg is suspended off the strap. The heel presses. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, release. Pull that knee into chest, twirl the toes around or circulate the knee, anything that feels good here. And we'll do the other side. Right foot is your anchor. Take the strap around the ball of the left foot. So whenever you're ready, your left hand is higher than the right. Chin is down to chest, heel is extended towards the ceiling, and breathe here into this still and steady for 3. So nice. 2. Sometimes just these very simple stretches can release so much tension and frustration in the body that we keep in our bodies. Good. And then holding on with just the left hand windshield wiper. So people very rarely talk about how emotional and mental stress can manifest in the body, but there's such a very real connection there. So keeping yourself stress-free is really one of the secrets to health. It does a lot to boost your immune system, eating right. You know, there's so much focus on wearing masks right now and hand sanitizing, but there's not a lot of talk that I've heard about, you know, how to boost the immune system. That's a very important part of it too. Okay, let a little slack out. Maybe the elbow comes to the ground if we can make it that far. And remember that your hips are not twins. They're like children, not twins. So they're very different from each other. One side might be more available than the other to do this pose. This is again optional. 2 breaths here, flooding a lot of prana into that hip. So I teach over at the Bang Center, and Mary Beth, who is the director there, she had before all this a great monthly workshop that she was doing where a nutritionalist from Kripalu came to talk to people. We have so many great, wonderful available programs for seniors and people in the community. So when this is all over, make sure to take advantage of that. Holding on now with the strap with the right hand, the right knee falls open and the left leg comes up and over. The elbow drops down to the ground. The weight is heavy down as the heel extends brightly to the right. Again, maybe this is not for everyone. This is kind of a little optional way to deepen the pose only. For 3, right? So all the different lineages of practice of yoga can give us all different things. So I just mentioned Kripalu, that's just one of them. And then come back to center. And it's just finding what's right for you. Interlace around the knee, swish the toes. Maybe the knee, any movement that helps loosen that up. And we're ready for our Shavasana, but what I always like to give people the option is feel free to pause the video and do a little yogi's choice if maybe there's a pose or a last stretch you need before we come on in. When we come into Shavasana, it can be as simple as just laying flat on the ground, palms facing up, knees relaxed, toes flop open. If you want to bolster under the knees, or if you want legs on a chair, anything you want to add, or blanket here, feel free to get comfy. When you're ready to begin, close the eyes, take a deep breath in, fill the belly, fill the chest. As you exhale, emptying the chest, emptying the belly, feel your limbs as if they're sinking into warm sand, and feel every muscle in your face, in your feet, in your hands. Relax. All at once, inhale. Exhale all at once, all the micro tension flushes out. Good. Scan your body from toes to head so that everything is relaxing. So we started out with the story of the 8 winds and with thinking about how the daffodils are so resilient, right? Even under snow, and how we can change poison into medicine just by staying very hope-filled and determined no matter what. Another story that comes to mind as we relax here is the story of Icarus, right? And I think it's Zeus. I don't know my Greek mythology too well, but I think it's Zeus who told him not to fly too close to the sun or too close to the ocean. Because if he flew too close to the sun by being arrogant and boastful, then his wings that were made of wax would melt and burn up, and he would fall into the ocean. And then if he flew too close to the ocean, he would get really soggy, and his wings wouldn't work, and he would end up drowning. So that was, of course, a metaphor for arrogance and feeling kind of sorry about yourself, or like you defeatist or powerless, like you can't do anything. So feeling like you're more powerful than everyone else, or not powerful enough to do anything, right? So that's kind of like the 8 winds too. Sometimes we feel like we just can't do anything, and that's no good for our practice, but it's also no good for our practice to be too boastful. So again, the image of the tightrope, staying right on our tightrope, not letting anything blow us off one direction or the other. Sometimes when we're too arrogant, we don't do our practice either, right? We think, oh, we know everything, we're fine. Or if things are going too good, we forget about our practice. And of course, there's also the story of the cold, suffering birds. That's a Buddhist story about these birds that every day they say, tomorrow we will build our nest, every night when they're cold and shivering. But then every day the sun comes out and they play and they forget all about building their nests. So that pertains to doing our practice, so that we have a nice strong mind no matter what's happening in the world, right? All right, so let's just take a couple more breaths, starting to feel a little more awake. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest. Exhale, feel the chest fall, belly draw down. Good. And maybe start to wiggle fingers and toes. And on the next big inhale, stretch overhead. If it's okay with the rotator cuff, hook the thumbs, point the toes, and then exhale, roll over to one side, curled up. Feel good here. Feel that river of chi flowing. Feel all those endorphins really kind of moving in the body now. I feel great. Whenever you do a nice strong practice, you always feel like, some people say it feels like you've just had a glass of wine, right? Except that you attain that nice high naturally. Come on up to seated when you're ready. So it's about just keeping your morale high, your spirits high. You don't have to be in a cross-legged seated position like I am on the floor if that's not comfortable. Come back to seated on your chair or sitting up on a bolster or legs extended. Anything that's comfortable that allows you to lift your chest, keep your shoulders relaxed, belly pit in, palms face up. Close the eyes for a couple breaths, feeling the nice reward of your practice, the still, steady mind, the inner peace, the immovable peace. Very good. Last one. Such a nice way to end. And let's just end with 3 ohms. Big inhale. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And in Buddhism, we have a chant, a little mantra that I'm going to share with you now. And it's a really good one if you're feeling like you need a little boost of some hope-filledness. It allows you to unlock your inner alchemist so you can turn any poison into medicine, right? Nam Yoho Renge Kyo. Nam Yoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And Myoho means to open like a lotus flower. Renge is like your inner ability to be able to do anything you need to. So it unlocks like your inner Buddhahood. It also means you're unlocking the mystic law of cause and effect. So if you put out good causes, you get good effect. You can't fail to create good when you feel so empowered, right? Okay. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much. Stay hope-filled. Thank you. Okay, so once you're laying down on the ground, and please take as long as you need to get down comfortably. Hi, Bronco. Bronco's doing yoga too. Did you see that? Nice up dog. This is where you want to make sure that you have your block and a strap. I know, you like to stretch too. Okay, so once you have your strap, we'll just keep going. It's okay, because that's life, right? You want to hook your strap around the big ball of your toes, maybe your right leg, and you're going to make the 2 ends into one and walk your right hand a little higher than